Hey guys, in this video I'll be showing you the game I made for GamesplusJames' second game jam. The jam went on for about a week and revolved around the theme of space. If you wish to try the game for yourself, there's a link in the description where you can download it and play it yourself. The jam started on a Saturday and I was already 6 hours late since I lived in Australia time. The day consisted of brainstorming, planning, thinking of the theme ideas, as well as designing the player and enemies. I went forth with a game similar to Gun Kid 99 where the player would progress through levels by obtaining a certain amount of guns, or in this case, obtainables. Since this was a 1 week jam, I wanted to keep it very simple and design up to 3 worlds with 3 different types of enemies that the player can fight. Day 2 working on the game, I pretty much made an intro scene and imported all the character and enemy animations to Unity, as well as hooking it up to the player and enemy controls. Later that day, I drew a small portal that the player can go through to change scenes from the portal hub to whatever level they want to play. The rest of the day, I just set up different levels of scenes using pixel art assets used from the asset store created by Mocha Weiler. I used his assets but edited in Photoshop by changing a few colors and then assembled it in Unity. So big thanks to him for letting me use his art. Third day on working on the project was purely programming and it was pretty much just getting all the core mechanics I want into the game. I first worked on the player being able to shoot a projectile and then coded a health system and hooked it up to the player. With the health system being implemented, I worked on the melee enemy where it would damage the player once they're in a certain amount of range. After, I made the enemies drop an obtainable that would fly towards the player and also set up the portal earlier and had enemies spawn in random positions across the level. Tuesday's work wasn't that much, it was mainly just setting up level 2 and 3 and creating the ranged enemy. The way it was programmed was that it shoots a projectile to the player's last known location. It wasn't as stressful as Monday, although I did get some feedback from the jam saying that the levels might have been too hard and that the level 2 seemed harder than level 3. Wednesday was another chill day for me. I didn't want to overwork myself on the project or else I'll feel burnt out and unmotivated. I mainly worked on scene managing, having the buttons or triggers in particular scenes that will move the player into the next scene, or have it when the player dies or completes a level. After that, I added a small fade in and fade out animation in each scene instead of just cutting straight away. I find having this slow transition kind of smoothens your game out, hence why I added it. On Thursday, I went back into programming. I came up with a last minute decision to add a new feature before the deadline. I went with a simple dialogue system. I wanted to add a bit of narrative to my game and not base it just purely on mechanics. This took most of my day, but during the evening I made a menu scene as well as a control scene, then linking that up with the rest of the game with the scene management script. On the last day I worked on adding sound, music, different effects to the game, somewhat polishing it to make it worth submitting. I gathered a few sound effects from freesound.org and used royalty-free music created by Serious Beat. After that, I submitted the game with only 3 hours left to the jam. The name I came up with for the game was Space, aka Science Programmer Attacking Creatures Endlessly. I had a lot of fun creating this game and it shows that no matter how much time you're given, you can always make a game even though it doesn't turn out to be perfect. I had heaps of bugs pointed out to me when people came to review the game, but I was also able to learn and see what the problem was. Not to mention I did this project as a solo. It taught me not everything can be done by yourself and you'll always need help from other people. That's pretty much all for this video. The link to the itch.io page is below and I'll see you next time. Peace.